What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and we're back for another episode of the fighting game tutorial series. In today's episode, we are going to continue going over unlockable items in our game. So in the previous few episodes, when we were going over unlockable items, we talked about unlocking our characters. So we could go into our store and purchase a character, like the mannequin here. And then when we go into versus to the character select, we see that our mannequin is unlocked. And we want to do this for the stage selection screen as well. So once we pick our characters, we go to the stage selection screen. Right now, these lock symbols are actually hard-coded and not based off of if the stages are unlocked or not. The same with how our character select screen was prior to those episodes. So we're going to be making sure our stage selection screen works the same as the character selection screen. So only the unlocked stages are actually unlocked and selectable, but the locked stages still show up as locked. Before we hop into today's episode, if you want to get caught up in the entire series and check out how we've done everything in our fighting game tutorial, from our input buffer, our different game modes, our projectiles, and a whole lot more, I'll link you to the entire fighting game tutorial series playlist right here in the top right corner so you can check all that out. Alternatively, if you don't care about that and you just care about unlockables in your game and a stage selection screen that has unlockable stages, you're still in the right place. I do recommend that you watch the other episodes of the unlockables, as our entire unlockable system is functioning as one, and we're going to be using it for today's episode. So I'll link the first episode of the unlockables system in the fighting game tutorial series right here in the top right corner. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started. So this is a code and blueprint tutorial series. Since we're working in our stage selection screen, we're going to be working exclusively in the blueprint today. The first thing we should do is go to our widget for this. So blueprints, widgets, menus. I'm going to pull up the character selection screen to reference it. And let's also go and get our level select screen or our stage select screen. Perfect. So here are our two widgets. In the stage selection screen, we have a canvas panel, which has a bunch of other canvas panels, and these other canvas panels have the columns for our buttons, images, and other things related to the individual stage. Again, this is how our character select screen did it until recently, where we changed it out for this thing called an item selection element. Item selection element has all the data we need when we're selecting items on our menus, specifically the character select and stage select screen right now. So to accomplish today's episode, where we check to see if these items are locked or not, we need to convert all of these canvas panels here to have item selection elements for each stage, as opposed to these hard-coded elements here. If we go back to our widgets one more time, you should see next to our level select screen here, we have this item selection element widget. It has our button, our border, and our locked image. We can also assign an image to our button, and these elements are going to take care of the stage select screen's image of the stage, like this right here is the image of the training stage, the border, the button, and additionally the locked image for elements that are locked. I'm going to treat this the same way that we treated our character select screen. So first of all, I want to make sure that my elements for each button or for each stage are organized on my widget. So all my level selection 1 or stage 1 elements are going to be in a row here. So level selection box 1, level selection box 1 border, and level 1 button all refer to the training stage here. Then we have level selection box 2, level selection box 2 border, and level 6 button. The reason for this discrepancy is just how long between episodes I implemented these two features, and I just treated them differently. So what I'm going to do now is organize them just like we did on our character selection screen. On the character selection screen, I went through the entire row first and then to the next row. So column 1, row 1, column 2, row 1, column 3, row 1, column 4, row 1, column 5, row 1. So this is 1, this is 5. That means this bottom left one here, second row, first column is 6. Let's follow that in the stage selection screen so that we are consistent. Level selection box 2 and level selection box 2 border will become level selection box 6 and level selection box 6 border. We don't have to actually rename them right now because we do have other elements called those things. But what we can do instead is place our item selection element in here. So item selection element. And we want to drag 2 into this first canvas panel. I'll put them right next to each other. So item selection element and item selection element 2. This first one is also going to follow the same naming scheme as the character select widget. So character 1 item selection element, we're going to call this stage 1 item selection element. And that means this other one is going to be stage 6 item selection element. Definitely keep these as variables as they are right now. And let's make sure that they match the same size and position of what we're going to be replacing. You'll notice that the actual image is 200 on the X and 200 on the Y. That means these item selection elements should also be 200 by 200. So size X 200, size Y 200. Same for stage 6 item selection element, 200 and 200. The difference here is that we need to also find the location offset. So if we go to the level selection box 2 here, you'll see that there is a position Y of 205. That means stage 6 item selection element position Y is 205. So they're in the exact spot that I want them to be. Copy these and place them in the correct spots on each corresponding canvas panel. So for the second canvas panel here, that's these two elements, second column, we want to have level selection box 3, level selection box 3 border, and level 2 button. And then level selection box 4, level selection box 4 border, and level 7 button. In this canvas panel, we can either paste, right click and paste, or Control V, the two item selection elements that we copied earlier, and this will pretty much just work out of the box, or you can drag two more in and reset their sizes and positions. Third column now, this canvas panel, we have level selection box 5, level selection box 5 border, and level 3 button right here. Then we have level selection box 6, level selection box 6 border, and level 8 button. Same as before, we're just going to paste our item selection elements in here. Fourth canvas panel here and fourth column, we have level selection box 7, level selection box 7 border, level 4 button, then level selection box 8, level selection box 8 border, and level 9 button. Paste your item selection elements in here. Fifth column here, we have level selection box 9, level selection box 9 border, and level 5 button. Then we have level selection box 10, level selection box 10 border, level 10 button. Paste your item selection elements in here. Now the only thing we need to do is rename our item selection elements for all of our canvas panels for everything that's not level 1 or 6. For the second column here, stage 1 item selection element is the top one. Based off of our new naming scheme, this is going to be stage 2 item selection element. The one that says stage 6 is actually going to be the 7th index, so stage 7 item selection element. Now we go to the third column here. Stage 1 item selection element is actually stage 3 item selection element. Stage 6 item selection element is actually stage 8 item selection element. Fourth column here, we have stage 1 item selection element. This is actually stage 4 item selection element. Stage 6 item selection element is actually stage 9 item selection element. Lastly, we have our fifth column here, which is stage 1 item selection element is actually going to be stage 5 item selection element. And stage 6 item selection element is actually going to be stage 10 item selection element. Perfect. Now these item selection elements are where we want them to be, and they are also named the same thing. So compile and save if you haven't already. Next thing that we need to do is set up the actual images that we were using on our stage selection screen. Again, with our character select, we do this already. Go to the item selection element for the corresponding character, and we have a default item image. This is the image that we want to display here. This is important because this data is now driven dynamically with our new system, but we still want to have something to display here for the design view and also when we're actually in the game. But it's very important for us as the developers or the designers to also know what the character select screen looks like. That makes this part really simple. We can just go through and assign the images for all these stages. Starting with the first column here. So the level selection box 1, use this image called Game Art Levels Default Level Icon. And so if we go to stage 1 item selection element and go to the details panel and default item image, we want to search for default level icon. There we go. And next is the stage 6 item selection element. Now previously that was just a lock icon here because we didn't actually have anything for this. The lock icon is now driven by data, or will be, with our unlockable system. So we don't want to apply a locked icon here. Instead, what we want to use is this question mark that I have. We have these icons for random, and this random icon that is blue is the one I decided to use for my actual random selection. But the other question mark I deemed is usable for elements that don't exist in the game yet. Like if we're going to add future characters or stages, we can remove these question marks. So they're just placeholders. Now the next one, second column. We go to level selection box 3 and we see that we have an image of Game Art Levels Training Room icon. If we go to our stage 2 item selection element, the default image is going to be Training Room icon. Perfect. And for stage 7 item selection element, we're going to use our random question mark again here. This third column, we have our level selection box 5, which has Trail of the Wise icon. And that means stage 3 item selection element is going to have a default item image of Trail of the Wise icon. Then stage 8 item selection element, this is reserved for our actual random selection. And for that, we do call it random, but is random icon 2 for me. It is this blue question mark here. For the fourth column here, we have our level selection box 7, which uses the refinery icon. So stage 4 item selection element is going to use refinery icon. Stage 9 was another unknown or unused, so we're going to use the gray random icon. Now for these last two, in the fifth column, both of these are the unknown or the unused. So both of these are going to be the random gray question mark. Perfect. So our stage selection screen now looks again how we want it to look. The next thing that we want to do is take out any behavior or assets that we no longer need after this swap. So some of the things on our design view we're still using, but some of them we're not. So for example, the level selection box, the actual image here, we don't do any logic with this in the graph. If we go into the event graph and right click on level selection box or search for it in the find results, find your references, nothing should come up. You can even use the binoculars if you want to search all the blueprints. And so at that point, if we go back to our level select screen, that means we can remove all of our level selection boxes. Let's look at our borders while we're here as well. LSB, level selection box 1 border, find references here. You'll notice there's also no results found, and same if we hit the binoculars. So that means both the level selection box and the level selection box border are safe to be removed. The buttons are a different story though. The level 1 button, we click on it here and find references, you will see references to these. So these we will have to manually replace. But in the design view, I want to remove all the level selection boxes and all the level selection box borders. All the old ones that we had. So it should be 4 per canvas panel. Just delete them. We don't need them anymore. There we go. And now we deleted all of our level selection images and borders that aren't using the new system. You'll see this still compiles and saves, so we're good to go here. The next thing that we'll need to do is replace those buttons. So a couple things like the outlines won't work exactly as expected right now, but that's what we'll be covering in the next episode when we remove those buttons. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode on the Unlockable system in our fighting game tutorial series. If you did, please subscribe. It does more for myself and the channel than anything else you can do. It's completely free, and it lets me know that you guys are interested in this type of content. So thank you so much for everyone who has, and everyone who's supported the Patreon, YouTube membership, and Discord subscriptions. I appreciate all the love and support. If you ran into any problems following this tutorial or any of my tutorials, feel free to join the Discord community. There is a link in the description, and I would be happy to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.